You're dancing when I said that. The studio claims we are live. Let's see
All
if
right.
the YouTube and Rumble say the same thing. YouTube says we're live. Rumble says it's waiting for the stream. And Rumble says we are live.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Today is Friday, the last Friday of the month, January 30th, 2026 at 7:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for joining us. We are Wrecked Sisters. And if
Uh huh.
yesterday wasn't an indication of how wrecked we are, you need to go listen to it.
Yeah, that was an unexpected
The whole
moment,
thing
and I
was, yeah,
apologize.
so do I. It was we decided at the last minute to go live and we should have just let the video go. So we'll have to reconsider that if we ever say that again in the future.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
unless it maybe perhaps it's an emergency or something, that we really got to get the news out, but it just didn't work out the way we wanted and the studio wasn't cooperating. We should have known when we couldn't get in the beginning what kind of evening it was going to be. But please don't forget to like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe. I believe it's March 25th will be our 1 year anniversary, and we
Hmm.
really need to get our number of subscribers and followers up.
We're
So if you,
close, at
yeah,
least on Rumble. We're really close. It's at 81. We just need 29, well, 19 more.
right. So if you haven't done so already, please, please, please like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe. Uh, on any of the videos that you watch, we would appreciate it. Uh, both positive and negative comments, or anything else that you'd like to see us cover on the show. Also, you'll see the bot go by. Unless we mention something specifically, we'll drop the Discord link in, and that's where conversations, very in depth and sometimes intense, go on after the show or in the
During
wee
the show
morning hours. Would you say, Crazy B?
or during the show. I've seen
Uh huh.
conversations that go on there while we're live, and
Yep.
and it's okay. We enjoy it, and
Right.
I keep an eye on it. I may not always answer or respond or even react to some of the stuff, but I do keep an eye on the conversations and
Yes.
stuff.
So
It just,
as I do, I try not to interfere. I'd
yep,
like to
unless I
see
got something to add.
right. We like to see the interaction between the members and try to resolve any issues that they have themselves without us jumping in. If
Yeah,
necessary, though, we're always available, and all you got
we
to do
help
is reach out
moderate
to us.
arguments, and
Correct.
we try to resolve everything as peacefully as possible. If there is an argument, because we do accept all people,
Right.
any beliefs,
Right.
and free conversation, but as adults, use your words
Yep.
and don't resort to, you know, some of the more.
Sometimes
I
name
wouldn't. I don't want to
calling
really call
or
it bad
you know,
name calling, and is a yeah. That's kind of where it's not needed. You're an
right.
adult. I even understand cussing. I have a tendency to do it too, but actually, as
Well,
everyone
I
has
think if
heard,
you use it, perhaps as an adjective or a descriptor, but if I'm calling you a bitch or an effing bitch or whatever, and things get carried away, that's when things step out of line and go above and
I take a
beyond.
bow when someone says that stuff to me.
Well,
It's like, yes,
yeah,
I am. Thank you very much. You
but
haven't even seen the start of it.
right, but you have to remember also each server has rules that you have to abide by, and there are certain rules. One of the biggest ones is don't cause drama, and we do have no name calling in there. So just be an adult, and you can say pretty much whatever you want to say. Just don't resort to the, 2-year old or 8-year old on the
Kindergarten
playground.
and elementary
Right.
school
Exactly.
arguments.
Mhm.
You know, We don't mind educated arguments. We don't mind even some wildly illogical. You should see some of my family that I have tried having conversations with. So everyone is welcome. It's just, let's keep it friendly ish.
Hmm.
Even if you don't agree, respectful is the best
Yes.
way, I guess.
Good evening,
Respectful.
Vanilla. And yes, there are
Hello,
rules.
Vanilla.
And no, I'm not a party
Party
pooper.
pooper. Our rules are so simple. Heck, I mean,
Heck,
it's like, come
I'm on
on.
some servers I think have 15 rules that you have to abide by. Sometimes
Yeah,
before you
my one
say
on
anything,
my
you got to go up and make sure you're not in violation.
yeah, they are like insane overkill rules.
Hmm.
My one server that I have for just the hell of it, for like with friends, the only rule on there is don't start shit, don't start drama, whatever. However I worded it, that's like the only rule. And you got so many chance. I'll give like two chances. Like, dude, knock it off. And if I start getting complaints or it's extremely egregious, then you get banned. But it's like really hard to get banned from my friend's zone server.
Right.
Like, it's hard, especially if I know you're just trolling. If you're
Hmm.
trolling, I won't ban you just to make it worse, because that's the whole point. Is people try to get banned, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that, and then
Hmm.
they get bored and they leave of their own accord.
Right.
So yeah, I have a tendency to do that with my one server, but yeah, art. I'm open to any well reasoned argument, but I don't deal with drunken arguments too well. Yeah, drunken arguments are a nightmare.
Yeah,
Hi,
they are.
Blue, and hi, Vanilla,
Yeah. Hi,
and
Blue. How
hi,
you
Art.
doing? Good evening, Art.
Yeah, it's yeah, it can be wild times on Discord, but it is a lot of fun sometimes to sit and watch and listen to the way the conversations go, see how people are thinking and their logicking.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yay!
All right. So what do we got going on?
What we
Why
have
don't we
going
check the
on
weather? Let's just see how cold it is today.
I am sitting at 28.9 with a real feel of 20.
Of 20 degrees. Hold
Real
on, let me
feel of
check.
20.
I meant to double check this, but I got hung up in something. Oh, I'm freezing, that's all I know.
Oh,
Oh, don't yawn. We're gonna have to go to.
God.
I'm tired.
I've been up most of the day. Most of the day went peaceful. My daughter was sleeping. She got up at some point. We had lunch together, which was leftover Dominoes. Um, the guys were off to work before I even woke up this morning. Um, my son had to clean poop off a toilet seat today. He was not thrilled.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah, evidently some of it got on the mat that goes around the toilet, and he let the manager know it was not coming off, and it was disposed of and replaced. Yeah, it's just been one of those days.
Right after we had that conversation yesterday, Jesus. People are disgusting. You know that? Absolutely disgusting. So we're
It's so
sitting at,
cold in
yeah,
Florida
we're
that
sitting,
people.
yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
we're at 4 degrees and it feels like one.
Blue Rose is at 63, but feels like 60.
Oh, be quiet.
Art says 52 degrees on surface, but 66 or so in the submarine. Vanilla says it's so cold in Florida, people forgot how to drive.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be cold next week, so.
We had a little bit of the crack flakes from the sky today.
Yeah, I really didn't look out too much. I was busy all day, so I didn't finish up till 4 o'clock.
Vanilla
And
says it's 64 where he's at. And Blue Rose says, no, I will not be quiet, D. I love it. See, that's my normal temps around this time of the year.
yeah,
And we usually have a tornado coming through at some point. So I'm not used to this. I mean, the crack flakes piled up with and then iced over on the top,
right.
and it's not melting.
I know. That's the biggest
And
thing is. in the city, Eric said that there's nowhere for them to put the snow. And all they've been doing
Mm-hmm.
is moving piles from one side of the street to the other side and back and forth and back and forth. And if it snows
Yep.
as much as they say next week, and with the cold temps, we're in for some nasty, nasty weather. Yep.
Vanilla says Monday sounds like hell is going to get unleashed and I'm not going outside. Monday, we are, no, we won't have all the parts to fix, all the stuff to finish fixing the car until Thursday.
Okay.
And then we are going to at least get a tarp to put over it. So even if we have to work in shit weather, we're protected from it falling on us.
Right, right.
But yeah, we we just spent more than we should have in tools and parts for the car, but it will be like brand new or close to it by the time we're done because everything that needed to be fixed is going to get fixed in a matter of days.
That's cool.
So, yep, we're getting it all done and it'll be all set and nothing to worry about because,
Mm-hmm.
well, half the parts were already here to begin with. We just were
Right,
waiting on the tools. In the last,
right.
we needed the AC tensioner with the belt, so the heat in the AC will work better. And then we got to replace the hydraulics on the back hatch, and the back the window is separate from the hatch, so you can open either one. So we had to get the hydraulics for both.
I see.
And so, yep. As a good friend said when he lived in Colorado, God, I wish it would snow because then it would warm up. I don't do snow personally. I have heard that there are places where it can actually be so cold, snow doesn't actually really fall like normal. It just is like chunks of ice
Right.
because it's so cold, it's not actually snow
No,
or
right.
something like that. I can't remember the exact details. God, we're talking, this is a while ago. But yes, it can be very cold in some areas. And at least the snow does help kind of sometimes warm things up by reflecting the sun.
Well, I'd
So
rather have snow than rain. I'm not I'm not
I'd
partial to
rather
rain at
tolerate
all.
rain.
Yeah. It's
I'll take
depressing.
rain. You can take this crap.
Okay, we'll trade.
Okay. How am I going to ship it to you? I've got about half a ton between the front yard and
Well,
the backyard.
well, you seem to be well, yeah, that's true. You'll have to wait till the next storm and we'll discuss it. All right.
Exploding trees. I have heard of that.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
oh,
let's
you
get.
had a picture and a video you wanted to share.
Oh, yes. This is how well, yesterday was the Fantastic Four and creation. Today's we watched, I don't know which Spider-Man movie it was. It had Doc Ock in it.
Oh,
And
that was the second one of the
yeah, I
not
can't
Toby Maguire. It wasn't the Toby Maguire one. Yeah, it
it
was the Toby Maguire
yeah,
ones.
and
The
and
original.
Kirsten Dunst, they I don't know the I guess with the new television setup or whatever, they both look terrible. I thought
Uh huh.
they looked old, he didn't portray the kid.
Well, they were in their 30s
Yeah,
when
they
they
just both
did
was
filming.
they she was in this one dress. I swear to God her boobs were down to her knees. I'm like, "Girl, haven't you ever heard of a bra? Lift them things up." I mean, she looked terrible. I was like, "What the hell? To be so young and they're like down to her knees." I'm like, "What the Oh, it was
No, she was
ridiculous."
in her, I believe, their 30s,
Yeah.
and she'd already had a kid or two by that point, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I don't know anything about her, so but we
Yeah.
watched that and then it all started with the helmet. While he you saw during the week we were into the lightsabers and the building
Hmm.
of the guns that oh, carried rounds and that you could cock and everything. So now we're into protection. And at first he came to me and he said, "Here, Nini, I made you a bowl." And ultimately, this is the I taught him the word prototype, and this is made with tape and paper in order to protect himself. It started with that thing on the top of his head as a bowl, and then he put the two pieces down to cover his ears, and then he said, "Oh, I have to cover my forehead." Then I can't tell you how many times he messed with the thing around his face. And then ultimately, that thing in the front sticks out and is like, I don't know what the heck it is. I'm going to say it's his breathing apparatus. I don't know. So tomorrow, for date night, him and Eric go out every Saturday. And hi, Cannabis. Uh,
Hi,
I-
Cannabis.
I'm sending him to get some poster board and some construction paper, and he needs a bunch of other like clear tape and things, and so he's going to work on the second prototype, but I think he's doing pretty good for only 9.
Yeah,
And
he is a very talented little guy. He just made a full on helmet with face
yeah,
protection.
yep.
I mean, not a
And
lot of
next
kids would get that creative.
yeah, next up is he's going to try to protect his neck. So I did have to
Okay.
laugh because he's in the house in just his underwear, nothing else. He's
Uh huh.
this kid
You're
radiates.
freezing and he's running
Yes.
around in his undies.
Uh-huh, and he radiates heat, it's just unbelievable, but he goes, "Nene, get up close, I don't want anybody to see my body," and I just started to laugh. I'm like, "Well, if you put some clothes on," you know what I mean? You're like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna show you in your underwear, babe," but it was funny. And
Oh,
then,
that's adorable.
yeah, the next one I think you have is, well, the
The
baby's
boys
first outing.
together.
Yep, the baby's first outing.
Let me enlarge that and share this instead. And then I will go ahead and hit play because this is adorable. I miss my childhood.
Whee!
That is so great.
Yeah, we got several shots of that with the baby coming down. He's all covered up in Jake's old snowsuit. The legs are way too long, but at least he was warm. So I'm not sure he,
Exactly.
yeah, I'm not sure he knew quite what to make of the whole situation, to be
Mhm.
honest with you. But
And he
I'll have
won't until he's about 4 or 5.
right. I'll have to get some of the other pictures. He's has one in the snow where it looks like he's a dog, and he must have face planted in the snow and he's got snow all over his face. I'll see if I could find that for next week. It just is funny as hell. But
Yeah.
they were not too long, but he had gloves and all of that. So
Now, we used to take the old inner tubes from semi truck
yes,
tires and
so did
tractor
we.
tires to go sledding
Well,
because we didn't always have an actual
yeah,
sled, cardboard
we
box,
yeah,
trash can lid.
uh-huh. We use those inner tubes for in the summertime in the
Oh,
lakes
yeah.
as inner tubes, and in the wintertime we use them to go down on the hill.
We would take the old tires, climb inside, and roll ourselves down a hill.
Uh-huh.
That was a lot of fun,
Oh man, we did dangerous.
especially trying to
Yep.
walk afterwards.
Uh-huh. We did some dangerous stuff
God.
too. I'm telling you.
And our parents just sat there and videotaped it if they had a video camera.
Yeah,
And
either
that's if
that
they
or
were
they
even
just didn't know
around.
about it. There was this one hill I used to take my bike on and go down with no brakes. And I mean, we're talking a hill. And I'm surprised. I mean, when I look back at it and I look at that hill and go, oh my gosh. And then there was this other hill. My brother actually went down and lost control of his 10 speed and he flew up over the handlebars and landed on the pavement and broke his shoulder. Almost broke his neck,
Ooh.
but damaged his shoulder pretty good. And people said that they heard him screaming at the top of his lungs. I mean, it must have. I can't even imagine going downhill and flipping over your bike. And back
Oh,
then,
yeah.
there was no, there was no helmets. There was nothing. I had this, uh,
Oh, no.
I had this Schwinn bicycle blue, and it had a four-leaf clover bell, that you pulled,
Uh
and it
huh.
was like bring bring. So
Mm hmm.
we're down in the back alley riding bikes, and there's this kid I know. He's standing there, and I'm ringing my bell for him to get out of the way. Well, he didn't get out of the way, so I
You
ran
don't
him
move.
over. My mother was
We
like,
used to do that
she
kind
was
of
like, "What
shit.
did you hit him for?" And I'm like, "Mommy, I rang my bell. He didn't move, you know? I mean, what do you want me to say? You know, I
We
rang the
used to
bell."
do jousting with our bikes and
I know.
sticks.
Uh-huh.
Like, neighborhood kids would get their bikes together in the backyards and joust.
Yep.
Like, we literally had nothing better to do.
Go off ramps and build ramps and stuff, and oh my.
Oh God, the number of ramps that could have killed us, and
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Or how about we
couple
had,
concrete blocks.
yeah, we'd play baseball or kickball or whatever, and they would get on the SOAR, the storm catch systems. We would just crawl into the SOAR, all that dirty, filthy, nasty water. That's probably why we're
We
sick
all
today.
lived. Yeah, but we're still alive,
Yeah.
miserable but
Yep.
alive.
And
I
Eric
mean,
used to go, he lived near, relatively close to the river, and they had one bridge that they had torn down, so they'd go and swim and climb up the pier and jump off the pier into the river. And people used to throw mattress springs in there and tires, and he said he'd come out in his underwear. They'd go down with white underwear, and they'd come back and be all gray and black and stuff. And I'm telling you.
speaking of jumping off piers, my brother convinced this kid that lived next door, who was a little bit older than him, to jump off. He told the kid there was about 3 foot of snow on top of the lake. Convinced the kid to jump. There was like 6 inches of snow and 3 foot of ice. Knocked the wind out of that kid.
Oh
Kid never
my.
trusted my brother again.
I bet not.
Oh my god. The shit we used to do to each other. Oh my god, it's a miracle that we're all
Mm-hmm.
alive.
Yep.
God. The
It'd rain
craziest
out.
shit.
We would
It
take our
really
umbrellas, because I do not ever remember eating lunch. I swear we ate breakfast and we didn't come back till dinner time. Honest to goodness, I
You
don't
did
remember eating
not,
lunch.
Vanilla. You did not. He says I used to loosen the propane tanks on the outsides of people's houses.
Hmm.
Oh God. I mean, like we would always. I'll, I was not involved in this, but a couple of years before I was in high school, there was this one history teacher that everybody hated. And they took a bunch of fish and tossed them on top of his house overnight in the summer. And there was no way he could have gotten them all down before the sun got high in the sky. And so it just stunk for like the entire day of hot molding fish on top of the guy's house.
Well, that's better than eggs, I guess, right? Oh.
It's worse. It's worse. And I'll tell you what, never throw bologna onto a vehicle in the hot sun.
Hmm.
Never. It'll pull that paint off so fast. You're going to have a polka dot car, and someone is going to be going to jail.
Oh, wow.
No, but I did loosen people's lug nuts. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Oh my God.
I don't know. Maybe he
But yeah, the
did.
shit we used to get into.
I know.
Oh,
All
God.
right.
Life was much more fun.
Yes, it was. So today's show, I guess, is a hodgepodge of whatever. And there's a lot in the news that has happened and transpired. So we kind of have all kind of stuff put together. As far as
Yes.
yesterday went, the video on the state of Daniel, as well as the remaining information on William Kelly, the violent loudmouth protester at the Minnesota church and also paid activist. Crazy Bee will put that in the link below so that you can
Uh,
continue to watch that and read
yeah.
the article
I
on your own.
I'll have that all together. And I forgot to add that to yesterday's description because I had to deal with family
It's okay.
chaos. So,
Hmm.
yeah, as you know, family
It's
chaos
it's
ensued.
all good. It's all good. All right. So what do
But
we got? So what I ended up doing was sending Crazy Bee probably tons of stuff, and I have no idea what she's pulling up. So
I put them in the order you sent them. And with the
okay.
exception, well, not quite because if it's all part of
So
one
if
topic,
it
I put
was
them
right,
together.
right.
But yeah,
Okay. Well, we'll
yeah,
see how this all
fundamentally in the
goes.
order you sent them.
So we'll see how it goes. So Crazy Bee's in charge today. It is technically,
Oh, it is a friggin' Friday. Shit.
yeah, but we changed it to what the,
Well, whichever.
yeah, yeah, quite.
I can't,
All right.
I can't remember. I haven't even made the new thumbnail for it yet.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
It's all good. All
I'll
right.
get
So
to
what?
it.
Yeah. So what do we got up first here, Crazy Bee? This is the.
Um,
Oh, go ahead if you because you wanted to talk about this. Go ahead.
yes. Um, hold on. I am going to invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege not to state, not my privilege. I'm not sure the statute of limitations has run yet,
Mm-hmm.
or with his childhood.
Okay.
That's why I've only stated the legal stuff we have done and not anything else.
Correct.
On this one, it turns out our government has been quietly paying families for vaccine autism damages while publicly denying it. Now, I stand by getting vaccines even at the risk of autism because I have kids with autism. I have autism. It's better to have autism, even in some of the more severe fashions, than to get hit with polio, smallpox, the ones that actually do
Okay.
serious harm to you.
Okay. Stop right there. Stop right there. With all that being said, the what are the chances of contracting those diseases versus how many children are contracting autism? For the most part, hasn't measles, smallpox, and that been eradicated in the U.S. with
Yeah,
the
thanks to the
exception?
vaccine.
Well, but what happens? A, when if we stop vaccinating, but B, more importantly, with the influx of these illegal aliens without the vaccines, we have seen in places both in Texas as well as up in the Northeast measles outbreaks, and God only knows what else is being
And
disseminated.
there are about two generations of kids from various areas whose families opted out of vaccinations while they still could back in the day.
Right,
Um, and I'll tell you what, my cousin chose not to get her kids chickenpox vaccine. She regretted it because an 18-year-old with chickenpox is worse than a 5-year-old with chickenpox.
right. Eric got them when he was 16, so I know how bad that is. She made the mistake of when they didn't have that when my kids were little. So
Yeah, it didn't
it
come
was
out till after my brother
right.
was born.
So back then it was right around Easter when the breakout occurred, and my
Yep.
first thing was, okay, which kid has them, and I want my kids to go up and lick them so that they could
Well,
get
that's a
the.
little extreme.
Well, no, I wanted them to get the chicken pox and be done with it. And lo and behold, they
Yeah.
did. Easter was ruined that year, but they did get the chicken pox. And
I mean, if you had an outbreak, you stayed home. And in my case, I got it so bad I almost went to the hospital when I was like 7
yeah,
when I got
yeah,
it.
Eric was hospitalized for it. It's very dangerous to get it as an adult. Now, at
And I
issue,
will say,
go ahead.
I want to just add that polio in America was not nearly as severe as the polio that is found in other countries.
Right?
And children who did not get the polio vaccine and are now exposed to the polio from other countries, yeah,
That's it's
it's
a big
playing
catch
with fire.
22, I think, because at issue right now is what's going to happen with JJ. Okay, and
Hmm.
because of autism running in their family And, her niece having it, I mean, a very, very severe case of it, they are very hesitant to have the baby get shots. So the most so far that the pediatrician's office has done is to wait 3 months before they started his first vaccine. Now, at
Hmm.
issue is his next set that he has to get is a 3-in-1 job, and they're going to
Which
ask.
ones are they?
I can't remember off the top of my head. She told me the other day, and I just don't
It's
remember.
probably the MMR booster.
I was just going to say MMR, but I didn't want to say
And
it because I
measles,
wasn't
mumps,
sure.
and rubella are quite miserable to have.
Yes.
And I have known people who had the mumps so bad they actually had to be intubated because their lymph nodes in their
They're
throat swelled so
right.
bad.
Well,
These are, again, ones
I
that can actually do serious harm.
well the question I guess is, instead of it being combo uh vaccines, why can't they be given individually like they used to be?
Because I don't think they're even manufactured
Well, that's
individually
the
anymore.
problem. They're not manufactured, but if it's possible that instead of combo drugs being given and children contracting measles, I'd like to know what studies have been done on single dose uh, vaccines.
I
And
don't think they ever really did an extensive study on the individual ones. They just, ever since they found out you could combine them, they
they just
did, and
did,
that's what
yeah.
they've ran
I
with.
mean, it's truly an overload on your body. I mean, I didn't get it last year, but this year or 2025, but in 24, I did that combo 5 things for the flu, and for the first time in my life, I came down with the flu. And to
No,
be
see,
honest with
I
you,
have always kind of been opposed to the combined like 5 or 6 things at once.
hmm
I've been opposed to it. They need to be spaced more out because you will overload the immune
and
system.
I believe that's what happened. I mean, I ended up in the hospital for 9 days for that. And then
And
this
you are also on heavy doses of
of
steroids
steroid, right?
routinely,
Yep,
which lowers your immune system, which means that being in that situation, it can do that. And I know this from personal experience of being on steroids, not medical advice, just something from personal experience, YouTube, because
right.
I've been on mega doses of steroids that took 3 months to go through
Yep,
because of my asthma. And I couldn't go to school if a student got a vaccine because even though I had already been vaccinated for it, it could still hit me. And I
right,
remember having to wear a stupid mask to school.
right.
So, yes,
And
um,
I mean, and
I think it can be an overload.
right, and so 2025, I was sick when I had my appointment, and somehow ended up getting the flu shot, which I shouldn't have, but I did, and I only got the single one. And you guys know I've been sick ever since. I really have been sick since September, so uh,
Hmm.
we're on the third set of steroids for the next several more weeks, and finishing up a 14-day dose of antibiotics. This
Yep.
is what, the
I
third
was
or
on
fourth
steroids
round?
not long ago myself,
Yep.
but
So I
no, I'm
just
not
wish
saying
it,
this in an anti vaccine way, but I
neither am
am
I.
all for going back and revisiting the formula and making the
Correct.
formulas better but still
Right.
effective.
Right.
Oh, I am all for that. But if we
hmm
can't make it any better or we
And
lose
and that's
effectiveness in the
that w-
process,
that's another curiosity that I have, just come to think of it, with the influx of illegals into the school system and the lack of documentation and paperwork. Do they force those children to get vaccinated because
I
it's
know
a
if you
law?
come here legally, yes, you do have to get the proper
Right. I'm
vaccines to come
talking
to
about
America legally.
illegal aliens. What
I
happens?
don't
They're
know.
placed into the classroom, right? Situation. That's something we should take a look at. Uh,
Hmm. I know illegals didn't have to get the COVID vaccine or
right.
testing for COVID when they came across, but we did.
Correct.
Um, well, those of us who were forced to in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I, again, I there's like again, with this influx of immigration, illegal or legal, doesn't matter. There's still that concern of what's going on. And as Art pointed out, there is a rise in cases what are being called ascending paralysis, which is basic to me. And I read up on this. I actually read up on ascending paralysis a few months back. And it sounds like like a finally mutated version of polio in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Polio takes a long time to mutate, which is why we were able to get such an effective vaccine that worked so well. And despite what some people say, I've known people who've had polio, and I've known people who've gotten the polio vaccine.
And gotten polio.
No, I've never known anyone to get polio from the vaccine or after
Did I have
they
the
got
polio
it.
vaccine?
Yes, you did. And people who've had polio don't usually get it a second time. Your body
Mm-hmm.
builds an immunity that lasts
Right.
for a lifetime. And like I said, I support the vaccines in this, especially if they're shown to be effective, even more so. The more effective it is, the more I support it. That's why I'm not a big fan of the flu vaccine. I personally don't take it. Well, one, I'm allergic to it, and two, it's always a year behind.
So does
Right.
that make Tylenol a vaccine?
Tylenol is not a vaccine.
Then why do they say Tylenol causes autism and then they say vaccines cause autism?
No, this is something that is our government's been paying for autism damage from vaccines, but lying about it to the public. So yeah, it's again, this is where I want more safe and keep the effectiveness going. I like effectiveness. Effective is
Well,
better than
unfortunately,
anything.
unfortunately, that it has not been the case in the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, but that's something we're
With
not
the-
supposed to talk
yeah.
about.
Well,
Not yet.
yeah,
Let's give it a few more years.
yeah. You know, between
When
the
everything's
CDC
finally
and
declassified
yeah,
and put out
uh-huh.
there.
Right.
And so, yeah, our government, evidently, there are documented government compensated cases advocating for transparency about vaccine risks and fair compensation for injured children. I'm
Yeah, why don't you
stunned.
hit play on the video and let's see.
Yeah, I'm just, and again,
has denied any link.
I've never said there was never that possibility. I've always said it's possible, but I've not seen anything that proves it. So let's see if there's enough proof on their end.
For years, the federal government has denied any link between autism and vaccines. But a short time ago, we saw the release of a bombshell report. The feds have been quietly compensating children injured by vaccines. These are children who have autism. All of this despite the public denials. Joining us now is one of the authors of the new report, Mary Holland. She's a research scholar and director of the Graduate Legal Skills Program at New York University's School of Law. Hello to you, Mary.
Hi, Allison.
All right, tell us in a nutshell what makes this announcement today so significant.
What's significant, Allison, is, as you said, it's the link between vaccines and autism. The government's denied it. We found 83 cases that make that association in cases that the government compensated. We want to get to the bottom of this. We want Congress to hold hearings. Every one of the 83 cases we found is based on government data. These are cases that DOJ and Health and Human Services, Department of Justice can verify. They can check that these are accurate cases. This is not a case about our children. It's not a case about our opinions. It's about compensated cases of vaccine injury.
And when you talk about these 83 families, how much in compensation are we talking about?
It ranges vastly, Allison. It goes from a couple tens of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars and their annuities. So we're talking really large sums of money with these families who have children who are severely injured by vaccines, and they also have autism. I think we can all agree that children should get the safest vaccines humanly possible, and that those children who have the grave misfortune to be injured by their childhood vaccines should be compensated. That's what this is about. It's about creating a fair and just and equitable compensation system and telling the truth about what vaccines can do.
Art brought up a good point. Settlement of a case doesn't mean there was a proved link. It only means the government paid out the claim and autism may only have been one of the factors.
Well, we haven't had an opportunity to look at the report yet to see what it says, so
I will be
that's,
digging for it. We
yeah,
got this just not long before we went live.
correct. So
So,
we'll take a
yeah.
look at what the report has to say and if there's a direct link or if, uh,
And which vaccine
correct. I'm
potentially
very
was it?
curious. Yes, very curious to see
I
which
want
ones.
more, but it's still worth covering and discussing.
Right,
And if this is truly the case and there is a direct link, then I want to see what's available,
right,
And was there other vaccine injury as well? Because sometimes you can get a vaccine injury from improper administration of the vaccine. If it's not administered properly, you can do damage like to the arm if you hit a nerve, or the buttocks. You can do paralysis to the sciatic nerve if you inject it in the wrong spot.
right.
um I mean, I'm truly curious what they are going on. And again, if this is a true link, I want to know more. I am, like I said, I've always supported vaccines. I've always said there may or may not be a link. I haven't seen anything definitive. I've seen more of a lean towards genetic definitive, that there is a genetic component to autism. I've seen more proof of that than I have vaccines causing it. And
Well,
so,
I also think that vaccinations, as we've seen obviously with COVID, they're not going to be the ones to come out and give you the truth either. Just saying.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that is something
As
that's
well
common. I
as
mean,
what role as and again, and we've seen what role do the pharmaceutical companies play in this, right?
exactly that too. And
That's a huge one. So not
and
only
heaven
I would
forbid
hope
you
in the
should criticize them.
exactly, exactly. So I'll be curious to see the report.
I'll see what I can find on it
Mm-hmm.
through the sources I have that are beyond the typical internet. Um, I go to the, well, not really beyond the internet. They're on the internet, but it's a website specifically for doctors and medical professionals, which
Right.
I still use from all my years of working there. I still have access to the websites, and I do continuing education, even though I will not be able to work as a medical assistant or advance to nursing like I had planned, but I still have access to all the medical documentation. So, YouTube, don't get mad at us. I'm literally going to do research into it. It's just something that hit the
Yep.
news.
We're just saying. That's all.
Yep,
Just
just
bringing it
saying.
to light. Correct.
And again, I will always support, especially the older vaccines that have been used for decades and have proven to work and are proven effective. So let's see where it goes and kind of wing it from there.
Right. Alrighty. What's up next?
Um, this chick.
The, go ahead. I don't just go ahead, hit play. Don't say anything. Don't ruin it for the audience if they haven't seen it. Go ahead. But this is our
Okay.
girl Nakima, Bobby Levy. Uh huh. That
Uh
was
huh.
the one of the ringleaders for the Sunday protest at the Minnesota church, the Minneapolis church. As you all know, she was arrested, and here she is after she was released.
Alrighty.
We had belly chains around our waists, and we had handcuffs with bars in the middle. As someone who majored in African American studies, I can tell you that that is the closest I ever felt to slavery in my life.
Sweetheart, were you beaten along the way? Were you starved? Well, you don't look like you've been starved.
Well, that's why she had to have the belly thing and the bar between there because probably regular handcuffs were too small on her wrists.
I don't
Just
know.
saying.
They can get regular handcuffs on some pretty
I
big people.
I'm just saying. Just making another excuse. That's all.
And the reason they did that is so you can't move your hands in a way to hurt the officers or do something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean you were enslaved, my dear. It means you broke the law and someone is pressing charges against you. Such a
Closest.
brave soul to stand up to white supremacy. The sarcasm,
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it. But yeah, she thinks being handcuffed to be taken to jail for storming a church and violating their civil rights is the
Is akin to
closest to
slavery.
slavery.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder
Well,
what
she
William
says that.
what yeah, what was William Levy's excuse then?
I don't
I
know.
mean,
But
if this was the closest to her for slavery, I wonder what his analogy is.
all I know is while she's complaining about that, my actual ancestors were enslaved until the 1920s, that region, by the Muslim Turks.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not talk about that, right?
Right.
In
Or
Europe.
yeah, and what's currently going
Or the
on in the
slavery
world today.
currently in the Middle Yup, in
Yeah,
the Middle East.
right.
Yeah, Iran and a couple other countries
Uh-huh.
over there decided it's okay to have slavery again.
Right.
And no one's speaking out about it. I don't hear her protesting them.
No.
Like, shall we talk about that? Or how about the human trafficking that's sent to work in sweatshops and
Mm-hmm.
factories all throughout the world? And let's not talk about the poor women who end up on the streets selling their bodies and are forced to do so under much duress. I don't
Yeah,
hear you talking about them.
there's a new sex ring that was just broken up that we'll discuss next week. What about all the Christians in South Africa that have been
Mm-hmm.
kidnapped, killed, land taken,
Tortured.
tortured, told that if they don't like it there, they don't like what's happening, move to America? What about all that? I don't see that. Or better yet, where is the outrage for all of the victims that have died or are currently still alive and living through the trauma of the illegal aliens that either unalived them, assaulted them, or harmed them in some way? And we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
from infants all the way to the elderly and everybody in
Yep.
between. I don't see where was she then?
No one talks about the 8-year-old girl in New York who is Jewish, and some jackass decided to throw a brick or something at the bus window and broke the window. It broke the window, came through, hit her, crushing her skull and putting her in intensive care. There was not been any updates
Jeez.
on her condition since months ago. No one's talking about that. No one's talking about the people in Iran who were literally just shot
36,000
at
people.
randomly
36,000 people.
gunned down by the government for protesting how bad the government's gotten.
Right.
None of the mainstream's talking about that.
But
But
yet
they're
they give
talking
her
about this bullshit.
mm-hmm. Yeah, she has a platform. She has a voice.
There's Muslim turkeys. Oh my God. Thanksgiving is getting real this year. I don't suggest it. Um, but, there's so many atrocities going on in the world right now, that actual atrocities. And she's going to stand there and say being handcuffed for jail and to appear before court was the closest thing to slavery?
Right. How
Bullshit.
about all the killings and shootings that occur in Chicago every single day and every single weekend?
Every week, 50 something.
Every Yep. Where's that at? That's dealing specifically with the African American community. Where's that at?
Where's Black Lives Matter on that one? Why aren't you protecting those lives?
They have to clean all the rooms in their mansion. They're busy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm calling bullshit.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Art says, "Welcome to jail, biatch." Blue says it's the narrative. Yes, it's
Yep.
what's being pushed, and sadly, it's
Well, I
what it
think what
is.
I think what happens is with this and with the bullcrap with Ilhan Omar, what has it done? It has taken away the narrative. Well, it's taken away the whole issue of the fraud that has occurred, right?
It's trying to.
Well,
People
we're
like us
really
aren't letting it
yeah,
go.
we're not hearing as much. There is still information being pushed regarding the fraud, and in fact, they're calling the mayor and Tim Walz and to for a congressional hearing. And I'm so sick of these damn hearings. I'm telling you,
Hmm.
nothing comes from them. I want to see action. Let's get some people, in jail, have their hearing, or no, let them have their due process, and then whatever
Hmm.
happens to them, happen to them. But this, let's go to Congress, put it on TV, and then nothing happens is bullcrap.
Yep, I've had it with
They
Congress.
still they have. I have a whole thing. I don't even want to talk about it, but I have a whole narrative thing going on. Jack Smith was called back up. And I'm like,
Not that they've
seriously?
done jack shit about him. Oh no, there is a court case against him.
Well, yeah, but
But John Bolton's more likely to be prosecuted than
yes, then
Jack Smith.
yeah. I mean, there's
Hmm.
so much new detail about January 6th, about the
Hmm.
impeachments against Trump, about how Jack Smith was illegally appointed to that position. There is so much new data that has come forth. We're
Hmm.
exhausted. You know what I mean? The American people are just sick and tired. Send his ass to jail. Of course, after due process.
Hmm.
But, are we really even going to, let's say that that does happen. Just like with Don Lemon, it took them, what, 4 tries now to get the man because we have these activist leftist judges not following the law, but legislating from the bench. There's a
Hmm.
whole Supreme Court case going on with uh, should one judge be allowed to do nationwide injunctions?
No.
Well, guess what? They had professionals at the table in front of Congress for another congressional hearing. It is
Art had
so,
it right. Congress is just Hollywood for ugly people.
yeah, it's sickening.
They're useless. They are literally useless when it comes to doing
And
anything in a timely fashion, anything meaningful.
and there's a clip I have for next.
Oh, Dee will be back. Hello.
I don't have the chat or anything. I don't.
I hope you can at
Whatever.
least hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank God.
I'm not even going to try to go out and come back. But Rashida Tlaib is on videotape saying, "Wait till we get the gavel back and see what happens to ICE, CBP, and HHS."
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
okay for them to go after these people, but not
Yes.
Trump. Okay,
Correct.
got it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, these Republicans, we're coming into February. So many are running scared. They either are not running for reelection, they're trying to get into a different office. Get this bullcrap. I don't know if you've heard this little story going around, but our Senator Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota, who has said jack shit about the fraud case, right?
Hmm.
She is now going to run for governor since Tim Walz is not. Do you know there's a legit story floating around that she could possibly appoint him to her senator seat?
She could if she wanted to.
Yes, she could. I, you know what? I'll tell you what, if that happens, I just might have to throw my hands up in the air and just walk away from it all. and just be an ostrich and put my head in the sand and just be an ant and move on, because that would be the epitome slap in the face to the American people if that happened.
If Dems get Congress, they'll impeach Trump. The Republicans can see the
they
writing
already
on the wall,
they have it already. It's all ready to roll. If they
and
did
that's why
what,
they're not running or resigning.
yeah, they're ready to roll. And then there's a video I have where Hakeem Jeffries says that Kristi Noem has to go, and
We
he
have that
makes
video
this.
actually coming up soon.
Okay, well then I won't say anything. We'll wait to play that. I couldn't remember if we had that for today or next
Hmm.
week. Wait till you hear that one. All right, what else you
Yep,
got,
you
Crazy
have.
B?
I have a vacation
Mm-hmm.
needed. I have a headache. I have dinner in my
I
lap.
I got rid of dinner right before we went on, and I've had a migraine now going on day 2.
Well, and speak of the devil, as you did,
Oh,
here it is. He's sending out a kill order on Christy. No, I don't know if that was his exact wording. Oh, she's got to be put on ice permanently. But Trump's the dictator. So let's listen to this crap.
It's disgraceful. She's got to go. We are dead serious. She needs to be put on ice permanently. She's got to go.
Now,
And by the way,
is this AI
she's not
generated
the
or
only
real?
one. It's disgraceful. She's got to go.
That's the next question. I'm pretty sure it's legit, but
well, Bill Melugin is a reporter from Fox. I
yeah,
doubt very
I
much.
doubt he went with AI.
Correct.
How did he not just violate this law?
Right.
And yeah,
But
I'm not
again,
gonna.
if that's a true violation, right? Then why again is there no action being taken?
Because it's okay for him to say that and nobody else. His side is okay to say that, but nobody else is allowed to.
Right, and Art's right. If you want a future in politics, it's probably best not to be associated with Trump. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and we obviously saw that with MTG. She couldn't handle the fire. I almost said something that I usually would never say. Whew, that almost slipped. Almost. But she ran. She
Mm-hmm.
couldn't stand the heat, so she got out of the kitchen. But yet, what'd she do? She tried to throw everybody, particularly Trump, under the bus.
On the way out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as
But
of
yet,
right now, I don't see Trump doing anything really wrong. Right in this current state, what's going on, things he's doing at this moment. I don't see anything wrong with what
people
he's doing.
might not like what he's doing, right? But again, the American people handed him a mandate, and despite what you see in polling, when you take a look and you dig into what the sample is really reporting on, it's not what you think.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see or hear these things, you need to dig just a little bit. And in fact, we looked at a couple of those, didn't we, Crazy B, a week or two ago with the polling? And
Yep,
we
it
went a
wasn't that
little
long
bit
ago.
yeah, I want to say within the last 2 weeks, we pulled up a couple samples, and then we
The way
went
things
in.
were said
Yeah.
and worded
Oh, that
and
I think that had to do with our boy. That
Chinese
seems.
illegal immigration.
Yes, I was just gonna say it seems so long ago. We still have to get back to that, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
because there's newer information that's out in our China piece. Perhaps we can get back to that next week. Ha ha ha. She said. Yeah.
I'll just sit
Uh.
back and you tell me when we're going to get to it and I'll have
Yeah.
everything
Right.
ready.
Yeah. We'll have to start from the beginning again. But yeah, we looked at some of the sampling, and it's not what it appears to be. Although the mainstream media wants you to think and act a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So we we're still facing challenges, I think, in that realm.
Again, propaganda's legal.
Mm-hmm. That was, I think, a huge mistake to let the
Obama.
propaganda. Yep.
But if he didn't set it in place, the Democrats wouldn't be having the wins they get. And
True.
honestly, if the Democratic Party gets any elections in these coming midterms and stuff, I'm going to be calling cheating
Mm-hmm.
because that's about the only way they can win, unless they're in a
Right.
blue state or a major city. And even then, I still suspect cheating.
Well, there's still the whole Mike Lindell thing, along with the voting machines and what's we. Oh, it's like everything. Again,
Mm,
what is the status and the update of the voting machines? They don't want to pass the SAVE Act. There's Republicans that are against that. They're trying to push that you need to have a picture ID in order to vote. Now, I was
I
just
like
at
that
the.
idea.
So do I. I was just at the DMV the other day to get my driver's license updated. And I'm telling you the steps that it took before they would even take your picture was punch in this code just to get English, punch in this code if you want Spanish, punch in this code if you need another language. Then it was punch in this code, are you a U.S. citizen or not? I would just like to know how many people that are illegals would really punch the key that says I'm not a citizen. Then they have
Huh?
the button that says if you'd like to vote, press yes. If not, press no.
I understand enough Spanish that next time I go for a driver's license, I could get or an update on something. I could put it in Spanish
Mm-hmm.
and see what it actually says for that, because it
Mm-hmm.
might be a whole different set of prompts.
Yeah, that's true too. I didn't even think about that.
Like when I was at Social Security office at one time, there was this bunch of Spanish notifications that they could get their Social Security benefits in less than a year. But for an American citizen, we're looking at 2, 3 years sometimes
Right?
of fighting to get it.
Correct.
And they're guaranteeing these illegals less than a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, huh,
But
that's nice to know.
that also has to do with some of the things that we found with the
Mm-hmm.
payoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the government workers were actually involved in uh, having their little palms greased.
Mm-hmm.
Or we've seen cases where, well, I think that's part of the James O'Keefe thing. I'm not sure if we showed that yet or not. I'll hold off on that statement before we get on there. We've
Mm-hmm.
got a couple things that he's working on, so. All right, what's up next?
All right. Next up is this video that you sent over. I cut it down as best I could to get it under 5 minutes. It was mostly just them and they're patting each other on the back at the end. So I
Okay.
cut that out.
We have breaking news for you. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon was arrested late last night on federal charges tied to a protest earlier this month at a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Lemon says he was reporting as a journalist when demonstrators interrupted a service to protest immigration enforcement. A magistrate judge previously rejected the case against him, but prosecutors later sought and obtained his arrest.
Yay!
Lemon was taken into.
I mean, given he was
Yay!
tagged by the group on Facebook to meet him there.
Yeah, yay! But he just happened to fly in at that particular day and just happened upon them.
Yeah. And then he just happened to be interviewing all these people, but also making comments about how he agrees with the protesters and what they're doing.
Right, right.
So funny. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, dude, really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Really? family sticking their 2 cents in. But I mean, the way he worded it alone is enough to get him in trouble.
Yes, ma'am.
Like,
But go
oh,
ahead.
it's
But he was
causing him to
just
be afraid the way a protest should be.
he was
That
just
is not
being
a
a
protest. That's a.
he was
Oh, yeah,
just
I know.
being a journalist. That's all.
Journalists aren't supposed to have opinions. They're supposed to, well, they can have opinions, but they're only supposed to report facts.
Right.
And, we'll see how it goes. And
All
oh,
right.
look who's over here. Isn't that Jasmine Crockett?
Yes, ma'am.
I thought so. That's enough evidence to charge Don Lemon by convicting him in a different story is a different story. Yeah, to charge you got a good point. Getting an actual jury to see it the way we see it is
Well, I think the fact that it went to a grand jury makes it a little bit gives me a little bit of hope. It just wasn't a
Oh yeah,
judge.
that's right. This was a grand jury that
Correct.
said to
Yes.
go after
He
him.
has both uh, other charges, but a grand jury also charged him as well. He has 2 indictments against him, I believe, is what they said. As of right before we went on, I looked, and earlier in the morning when we got the story, they had not yet been able to get the arrest documentation unsealed. He was in a hotel in Los Angeles when he was arrested. So he
Where
was.
was the grand jury? Was it in
I think it
Minnesota?
was Minnesota. He was charged both in Minnesota and in Los Angeles. So in both places, charges were given, but both of them were still sealed. So I don't have anything as of right now before we went on the air. Hopefully we'll learn something by Monday.
I'm trying to think of how LA could charge him if the crime happened in Minneapolis.
I don't know. I
Unless it
know
was a
there was.
wire crime by setting it up
Well,
over the
and
internet.
that's one of the questions, right, that they talked about early on was once they started to track where the how the meet and greet was set up, right? If there was interstate wire kind of things happening, depending on cell phones and all that. And I do recall that there was some issue that if he left Minnesota, they would consider him to have fled the state and that they would try to get him on charges of fleeing, kind of thing. So I don't know if him going to California made the difference. Again,
I'm
we're going to
not
have to
sure.
wait.
And that's why I would
Yeah.
like to know more on what he's exactly charged with.
Yes.
I mean,
And
the FACE Act, obviously.
well, they're going to get him on the KKK Act too, from what we know.
That's what they're charging him with.
We know it's the FACE Act, and then we reported last week that they were going to get him on the KKK Act as well. And then they're probably going to throw in like disorderly conduct, trespass, all of that stuff.
Those will get pled down to
Yeah,
nothing.
harassment. There could be intimidation.
Or he'll get out of the more severe ones and take the
Lesser.
disorderly conduct and
Yes.
stuff for the lesser
Yes.
punishment.
Correct.
He'll make some kind of plea deal.
Correct.
This is where much as it's nice to see that, he's being charged, it's again, actual punishment is probably not going to happen.
Right.
And there, again, the way these people are about to frame it, it's bullshit. But let's just listen to their side because
at least he asked to be arrested and he got his wish. That's all. Just saying.
Well, it was more of a challenge.
You think?
He challenged Pam Bondi, and
yeah,
not a smart thing to do, but anywhere.
Right.
Never challenge the people of authority. It's not going to go well,
Exactly.
especially if you have no ground to stand on. They're going to make a show
even
of
if you do have grounding, whoever holds the power is the one that's going to be in control.
Yeah, but that still doesn't mean there's actually going to be a consequence because
it's just the fact. No, it's just the fact my man was in handcuffs. He was behind some bars for a little bit. There's still a little little happiness there. I am not going to deny it. He
What he's
asked.
charged with is limited by federal laws are available. Things like trespass are state crimes, not federal in this context. Yeah, so the federal ones like the FACE Act and the
Right, and
KKK
the
Act,
KK, yeah, they're the Fed ones, right?
but the local crimes of disorderly conduct and trespass would have to be brought by local PD. And I
Well,
don't
that's what
see
they
that
got.
happening.
That's what they got. Some of the other participants in this
Yeah,
was the
but that's
lesser, yeah,
literally a don't ever go there again, a fine
right.
if you
A slap on
absolute
the
worst
wrist.
case scenario. And
Uh-huh.
then you're just trespass is literally don't go there again.
Uh-huh.
I've been trespassed. Was told to never go somewhere again. Okay. And I didn't. So, there's that. But that was also me being young and stupid. Paid the fines, got didn't even get probation, was just told not to go there again. So,
Right.
you know, no, it was not. Again, it was enough of a lesson for me to not want to have to do it again. And but I was really being a pain in the ass at the time, so
Oh, so you
it
were living on
happens.
the wrong side of the tracks at one time.
Well, I mean, neither parent was actually there. I mean, they were physically there, but they were not involved. Well, actually, my mom wasn't physically there or involved, and my dad was physically there, but mostly drunk or at work. So at that time, and it was tough because it was right after the divorce, and so I did what any teen does: stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. You live, you learn, or you get better at hiding what you do and just be grateful you didn't get caught for the stuff you did do.
Exactly.
So, I've done stupid shit because I had a really shitty situation for a while. And I came out of it for the better. Can't say other people I was hanging with at the time did. Actually, I think most of them are dead. So we'll leave that at that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So what he did, I mean, if he gets away with just trespass and criminal misconduct, I got a disturbing the peace and that's what led to the don't go back there again. So
Right.
trespassed and disturbing the peace. Those have both been expunged because it was when I was 18. I believe they were expunged by the time I was 30. So it was never even held against me. I behaved myself and they said it would be expunged if I behaved myself. So I did.
Mm-hmm.
And this is again where it's not going to impact him. It's not going to prevent him from getting a job. He already has plenty of money. It's not going to stop his
No, and
husband
that's
from
the
getting
thing is
anything. There's
they
no real consequence to it.
there's discussion out there that so he gets fired from CNN, right? And he basically has been irrelevant ever since, despite him having a podcast. Okay? Now, this arrest has thrown him, well, the protest put him in the limelight, but this arrest has now elevated his status again. And now
Mm-hmm.
there's rumors out there that he's going to be picked up. Watch him go to MSN now. Watch. Just watch.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, because I'll bet
Even
his
though he got fired for legitimate reasons.
exactly, and I'll bet his non-disclosure agreement's up. I would think at this point or close to it. He's
Some of those can last a very long time, including lifelong.
well, they're few and far between. It's because there's laws that you cannot preclude somebody from making quote their livelihood. So normally, even 3 years is a tough one. I don't know. Again, that's something we don't know, but there's discussion out there that he's going to go somewhere to another network, and I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up, at MS Now or someplace else, unless he does any actual jail time, which I doubt.
That's MS Now. Brent, and hi, Brent, says Matt Walsh made a good point on Twitter about that. If nothing happens, they just made him a martyr and more relevant again.
Exactly. Yeah, I read
And
all. Hey,
that's
Brent.
M Snow D.
Yeah. Uh, Good to see you, Brent. I can't see the chat, so anything going on, Crazy B has to tell me.
Oh, and that's why I try. I don't know if you can see when I highlighted
Yeah,
across
I
the
can
bottom of
see
this.
when you highlight them. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I read the whole transcript with Matt Walsh. He has several pieces out there. If you want to see them, go head up to X and just put in Matt Walsh's name, and you'll see what
Yeah.
he has to say.
Guy's
But
very opinionated.
he
I don't
is.
always agree with him, but he's very opinionated.
Yeah, as many content creators are.
Hmm.
Uh, most everybody does have an opinion about one way or the other, and it's
Yeah.
either do you agree or disagree. But he does point out that if, and here's the rub, and this goes for, and we discussed this last week, if they're going to use the SAVE Act and literally throw grandmothers who were praying across the street from abortion clinics, and they not only use the FACE
The
Act
face act.
against them, but they also use the KKK Act against them, tied that together, and they got even longer prison terms. If he skirts on this, you know that our justice system's messed up.
It's been messed up. It has
Hmm.
been for a long time. When they let Jesse Smollett off with a slap on the hand
Exactly.
after the bull
That's
crap he pulled,
right.
when they prosecuted Derek Chauvin for murdering a guy who actually overdosed by all medical logic. It was an
Right.
overdose, not asphyxiation, by
Right.
kneeling on his back near his neck. It was, but anyways, that's a whole
Yes.
nother argument.
Yes, YouTube. We're not bringing up George Floyd, so
It's just when they can sit there and turn criminals into saviors, something's not right. And when they turn the good guys into the bad guys, you know it's really bad. It's really, really bad. And I don't know how much more of these idiots I can tolerate.
I know.
I really don't. But do you want to finish this so we can get their
Yeah, go
idiotic
ahead.
opinions?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah, because
Into
I just
custody.
I think everybody should have to enjoy Mika and Joe. So
Like I said, idiotic opinions. Here we go. And that's from my perspective, and I'm not saying anyone has to agree with me. I'm saying it's an idiotic
well, I was
opinion.
so agitated when I saw this morning. I did have to go in and comment on it.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Deep breaths, meditation time, get my blood
Yeah.
pressure down in advance.
Woosa.
In Los Angeles and is scheduled to appear in federal court this morning. His lawyer, Abby Lowell, calls the prosecution an unprecedented attack on the First Amendment. We have Lisa Rubin here, Molly John Fax joining us.
Lisa, let's talk about.
It was an attack on the First Amendment. They went into a church and violated that church's rights. You're absolutely right. It was a First Amendment attack, but not by the prosecutor. I'm going to shut up now and continue.
What charge is being levied here, and your opinion as to why this is so important?
Let's talk about what we don't know. We know that Don Lemon is still in federal custody right now as we speak. But my understanding is no charges have been filed and unsealed. Don Lemon and his legal team don't even know when he'll make his initial
isn't she his
at a Los Angeles federal.
They said she was Don Lemon's lawyer in the beginning.
Yes.
And now she's not Don Lemon's lawyer. She's the MS Now lawyer, legal analyst, or legal person. I'm confused. Is anyone else?
You could probably do both.
Okay. I don't know if that's possible, but it would be like a conflict of interest, wouldn't it?
Oh, God, really? You're going to ask that question? Do you know how many conflict of interests that goes on between both parties?
Just saying.
Do we need to bring up the stock exchange?
I'm just saying.
I know.
That I don't think, but honestly, I don't think the media got it right. I think that the news
They
station got
have
it
it
wrong
messed.
with the way
Yeah,
they
I agree.
announced it.
Right.
I'm leaning more towards that, but it's
Right.
funny that
Well,
they
we
can't
have.
get the words right.
Right.
There's a difference between covering events and participating in the events. Yeah, he was tagged to join them in a Facebook message. He was invited to join them and cover what they were doing. It was more like a documentary than it was a news report. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Crazy B, I'm sending you an update from
Okay, I just heard it ping in Discord,
yeah,
so let me hit play.
that's from Blue.
Okay.
Angeles federal court this morning. That having been said, Jonathan, based on the criminal complaint and affidavit that were filed when authorities tried to get initial charges against Don Lemon to stick, I can tell you that it appears that the federal government is pursuing charges under what's called the FACE Act. And the FACE Act is something that folks who follow the reproductive justice movement are very familiar with because it most commonly has been used to prosecute people who block access to reproductive health clinics, who sit there and physically block it. But the FACE Act also prohibits interfering by...
This is what I find so frustrating, right? Is the narrative that is being told. Okay, not that people have not blocked them, okay? But the whole truth is not being told. The statement should be, it has been used against people that not only block the abortion clinics, but those that prayed across the street on the opposite side of the clinic on a sidewalk, a public sidewalk.
And again, the history of this entire act stems back to the 1980s and 90s when people were blowing up abortion clinics.
Correct.
Radical Christians.
Yes. And the Ku Klux Klan goes all the way back to 1871.
The 1800s.
We covered it.
The history of these laws is important. But again, you can't impede on religious beliefs and you can't push your religious beliefs on others. You cannot use your religion in a terroristic fashion like what was being done in the 80s and 90s. I grew up in that era, okay? I was born in 83, but I have memories going back to when I was 4 years old. 4 years old. So I remember these places getting blown up, and I remember thinking how horrible Christians were for doing that and how it was a hypocritical stance. If they're claiming to be a Christian but blowing up an abortion clinic and harming innocent people in the process.
Well, I'm just going to rationalize that in a different fashion. And the reason they were doing that was because their stance was they were murdering the unborn.
Then the justice system should do something about it. We are not supposed to take that into our hands.
Right. I'm not saying it should be tit for tat, but when we're talking about the radical left, this is how radicalized the right became, because nothing was being done about abortion because of Roe versus Wade, correct?
But every individual person has a personal belief on abortion, and you can't, unless the entire or most of the
my
state...
body, my choice?
No, I've always held that if in specific cases, abortion should be allowed, especially in medical circumstances.
I don't
like
disagree
in my case.
with that, but you just made the statement. How did you reframe?
I
that
said,
again. That
I was saying everyone has their own opinion on abortion.
Right.
And unless a state, the entire state, agrees
correct,
on what the law should be,
right,
they cannot do that. They cannot ban abortions. You cannot drive from a red state and go to New York and blow up an abortion clinic like what was happening. These were people crossing state lines to do this in some cases.
Because the only way the people in a red state could get an abortion was to travel to a blue state.
But it doesn't give you the right to take a pipe bomb hundreds of miles to go blow up an abortion clinic.
Exactly. But it's the same way. They were radicalized on the right
Yes.
because they were
It's
making,
not
there was
okay.
nothing that was being done to address their issue. So they became radicalized where they were blowing them up. We
And
are
now the
now seeing
left
that
is
same
radicalized for the same.
because they don't like illegal immigration. They don't like the
And they
stance that
also
it's been
want
taken.
kids to be able to have extensive body transitioning, but not legally be able to purchase alcohol, tobacco, or get tattoos,
Correct.
or even piercings
And
without permission. But
right.
hey,
And you keep
let's
it
do
from
some.
your and you keep it from the parents too.
Yeah. So again, this is why we are seeing the radicalization again on both sides.
Correct.
Both sides want their way to be nationwide, and
Yes.
it's not. It should be state handled on how they want to
But
address these
many,
circumstances.
right, but most people don't recognize that the state
Yeah,
rights because it's not being taught in school.
no.
And then you're getting to college, and we've witnessed how many professors, just go and take a look at the professors that have talked about some of the issues that we're dealing with right now and the
Hmm.
radicalization of them. And when you
And some
listen
of
to
these
them,
are classes that have nothing to do with
exactly.
politics
Yes, ma'am.
or social anything. You could be taking a basic math class and somehow they can turn it into a
Yes.
activist situation.
Yes.
The FACE Act also includes language about intimidation, so it's more than just blocking access, which will get you convicted. That's true. It did have that intimidation clause in it.
Yeah. Well, that and what do you think
But
happened at the
people,
church?
well, and this is
It's
again
the
where
same
the
thing.
people who were praying outside or even across the road could be perceived as an intimidation. I see both sides. It's still not right to be jailing anyone, especially if
Oh,
they're
well,
not.
if that's the case, then the guy that's up in New York that's on the corner, one would be the naked cowboy, two would be the guy that's the doomsday
He
guy,
should be getting in
three,
trouble for indecent
exact,
exposure.
well, they don't uphold the laws there. Three would be the guy that is spouting the Bible all the time. So, if we're going to go down that path, then all three of them should be arrested somehow for words.
I mean, if people find it intimidating, they are within their rights. If enough people in the community say that that person, preacher on the corner, is talking about God in my neighborhood and we all don't like it, yes, then they could.
Oh, so does that mean the chimes 5 days a week, 5 times a day for the Muslim community that's blowing off Christian eardrums? If the community gets together and say no, that then those the bells should not toll
Well,
or the
that's
call to
basically why
prayer?
Christian church bells don't toll anymore. You don't hear
Yeah,
churches tolling the, well, except in my small town,
yeah.
like I've said. But most major cities, church bells do not
Do
toll.
not toll. No, they stopped that.
They stopped that long before the Muslims did
Right.
what they're doing.
So
Hmm.
what's the difference? What are we? I mean,
Then enough people need in that community need to say something. Good luck. It's mostly Muslim community. Good
exactly.
luck.
Yep.
And if you are on the city border, good luck going to
Yep.
the other city and complaining about it. If you are where you know how the roads, one
Yes,
half the
ma'am.
road will be for one city, the other half will be the other.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
good luck.
Yep.
Good luck. It's not going to go well for you. Um,
Well,
yeah.
some of them don't even entertain your appearing before them, uh,
Hmm. As we heard
before
in
their city
Dearborn.
council. You have to be able to live in the jurisdiction. And that's proof in that just in the federal government, you cannot contact another state's congressperson or
Well, you can, and they're
senator.
just not going to listen to you.
They're just not, you're just going to get a message, unless you live in the area. Sayonara.
You can't. Yep,
Yep.
we can't help you.
Right.
Take it up with your
Uh
politician.
huh.
Yeah. And this again is where when the community is 80% Muslim, they can do it their way. If it was 80% Catholic, like it used to be, guess what they used to do?
Toll the
The same
bells.
thing.
Yes, ma'am.
They'd toll
Do you know
masses, they would toll the hours.
Do you know that Senator Susan Collins somehow just negotiated with Kristi Noem to have a reduction in ICE activities?
if
I
there's a
want to
good
know.
reason.
No, what right does she have as a senator? It's no. How did she get to do it? But Tim Walz and the mayor and all them aren't allowed to do it. What gives her the right to interfere with?
Because she's the federal representative for that state.
Okay,
She
for example.
represents that
Mm-hmm.
state's
So why
legislative
doesn't
and
Amy
laws.
Klobuchar just step up to Minnesota then and tell them to stop? What
Um,
right? Yeah, what right does the senator or congressional person? Now we've heard all the squawking from Ilhan Omar and all them. Why do they get to? Why did Susan Collins get to stop ICE activities? Have a
she
reduction in it?
probably had a good argument for it, or
I
brought it
need to
in a
know more
peaceful
about
way.
that. I
Yeah,
need
I
to
would
know.
like to know more what was
Yeah,
said, but guess what? We're never going to know.
I mean that's a bunch of BS. It truly is, because
Well,
as many people said, they did not vote for Susan Collins to make the decision on whether or not ICE should come in to get illegal
if she's a
aliens.
senator, she's probably just passing a message along and
Oh,
working
she's
something
such
out
a
as a
dipstick.
mediator.
You know what I mean? She's such a dippity do. Really? There's
Have
something
you
more there.
seen
I'm telling
all
you,
of
there's something to that
Congress?
story.
I'm just pointing out all of Congress is the definition of dippity do as put. Really? Are any of them actually productive?
Okay, so we'll have to have rankings of dippity do-ness then, I guess. Right? I don't know. I mean, some are dumber than the others. That's all I could say.
But maybe she presented something like, look, you've gotten
Oh,
most of them, or she
I
worked
doubt
out
it.
something that'll be less
You know,
public where they
I'll
exchange
just
them.
send you $1 because I'm telling you, I, I I guarantee you, there's no rational argument. I guarantee it.
I don't know. We won't know. It's never going to be disclosed
Well, I
what
think
was
that
said or done.
hopefully there's going to be enough outrage from the people there that we're going to find out some answers. You know,
I have a feeling it's
What's
something
up
on
with
the
the
lines of, look, behind the scenes, we'll help you out. We'll transport these people to a different area. You can pick them up there just to
perhaps?
end this shit, to make it
Yeah,
look better.
perhaps. But for Christy Noem and all her espousing of nobody's going to tell ICE what to do, nobody's going to tell me what to do, and then she caves to Senator Susan Collins. Give me a break. Collins has what power? Really?
Like I said, there had to have been some
There's
negotiations going on,
there's something.
but it's not going to ever be made public because somebody won't get reelected.
Uh-huh.
And I promise you, they are doing something behind the scenes because ICE cannot be prevented thanks to
From going
Obama
in,
in Arizona,
right?
2012, I believe it was.
I think so.
And so I'm guaranteeing, I would put money that, even though we'll never know for sure, something's going on where they're going to sneak them out of the jails or something. ICE doesn't have to necessarily pick them up off the streets or the courthouses, and
Or do
they work it
right.
out some other
Right.
way. So
Well,
that's not publicly known.
and then again, there's a very good point being made about Minnesota being the hot spot, right? Why is it that we don't see the rioting at the level that we do in Minnesota? And again,
We did in LA.
yeah, but that's calmed down significantly compared to what's going on in Minnesota. And I
I
want to
haven't really seen a
say,
lot of updates from LA, but I don't think
right,
they're really working Los Angeles anymore. They've moved to other locations.
right. However, I'm going to argue that I think this is all tied into the fraud situation. I really believe that it's a huge distraction from the left to try to take away the
Well, there was
billions,
that one assistant governor or whatever her face was that had
right?
set up a bank
Yep.
account and was paying people to
Yes.
go and be agitators and
Yes.
protesters. She had like 38,000 in the account.
Yes. And we have some
That was
future.
found
Yep.
on, what was it? That Signal chat
chat.
app.
Yep. Yep.
And so, and they have found money from NGOs being dispersed.
Correct.
there's some kind of talk of a union. I did catch that from the
Yes,
O'Keefe one,
the
but I won't go into too
person that's
much
in
detail.
yeah, the person that's in charge of the SEIU labor
Uh-huh.
union is involved.
Somehow is
Yes.
involved with money
Yep.
directly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
So
there's some money being flowed in from government levels.
right,
Something.
and then don't forget, we got the school districts, the unions from the Labor Party there. So there's all this is all being funded by the American taxpayer. These
Uh-huh.
riots, it's going through, as Crazy B said, NGOs. We have the SEIUs involved. We have the school boards being involved. We have wait,
Churches.
churches, nurses, huge
Mm-hmm.
professional organizations all contributing to this in one way or another. Grants and money. The fraud that's occurred, the PPP, the hunger, the Ill Hands failed winery, all of this is all tied together. Imagine if, and you and I talked about this, imagine if Tim Walz and Harris would have got on. Remember they talked about how tampon tin, like they couldn't believe that out of, again, all the people in the United States, why was he tapped to be VP? And
Because
I
everyone was
say,
mad at Israel, so that what's his face Shapiro couldn't do it.
right? However, could it be that Tim Walz, his stealing, alleged stealing, fraud committed at such high levels that they were going to try to roll that out everywhere throughout the country?
It's already in most of the country
Yes. And
on
we're
state
finding out
level,
more
not
and
on
more about that. Yes, ma'am.
almost every single state. I mean, heck, I just got a call today trying to get me to sign up for home health, where they come out, check my vitals, check my reflexes, and answer any medical questions.
And you know
I
what's funny? I think that and when you asked why, and I said I think that goes to either A, discussions we have here, B, our phone discussions, because remember we asked the question about Siri and who's listening, and we had the discussion where Blue and I were talking about shoes, and lo and behold, shoes pop up in our feed a couple minutes later. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that you and I probably talking about some of this stuff is perhaps how some of this started.
Well, I told her I've worked for home health care, and I know quite a few of those companies come out, do the bare minimum, but
Uh huh.
charge Medicaid quite a bit and Medicare quite a bit. So I will pass until I can no longer walk.
Right. And even then, that'll be too late. I mean, that's the funny thing. Like in my case, they'll want to send they'll want to send physical therapy to the house, right?
Nope, I
And
won't take home health
okay,
of any
well,
kind.
in order to escalate to any type of other level, say either outpatient or in facility, okay, you have to jump through step number one, which would be home health. They come to the house. I literally had one person here that was just sat here and talked to me for an hour. No exam, no nothing, and said, D,
Yep,
there's absolutely nothing we can do for you. You don't even want to know what that bill was.
exactly my point.
Uh huh.
And the company I work for didn't accept copays, which is our prerogative. We were
Right.
legal to do that, so we
Hmm.
never charged copays.
But many
But
do on top of the visit.
yes. And that's just more money they get to collect. And mind you, they're totally bypassing the primary care provider the patient actually sees.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Mm-hmm.
seen that more than once, even where we were. No one bothered to ask when they signed the patient up if they had a primary care we needed to communicate with.
Mm-hmm.
No one bothered. And it was, again, one of the many things that I thought was going to get the place shut down, because FBI and DHS were knocking at my door asking questions about it. And I told them what I knew. I cooperated, and they're like, we get you did nothing wrong. We see your paperwork.
Right.
Yours is great, but the before it stuff. I'm like,
Right.
why do you think I dotted my I's, crossed my T? I almost said
These,
dotted my
right?
T's.
Hmm.
Yeah, I did it in triplicates because I wanted my ass covered in case something went wrong. And
Well,
sure enough, behind my back, someone was putting billing slips through for absolutely nothing done.
right.
And I made it clear it wasn't me, but I also pointed him in the direction of who I thought it was.
Hmm. One of the other things that you need to realize too is if you do go to a inpatient facility for, say, physical rehab, or in my case when I was in the nursing facility for 30 days,
Hmm.
you relinquish your right to have your primary care involved in your care whatsoever.
In many
So
cases, yes.
that if there was something I didn't like, if I wanted
You
to
bet.
be sprung loose because I couldn't stand it, my PCP could not get involved. It had to be handled by the doctor of the facility.
Yep. And
And I
that's a problem.
waited, yeah, and I waited sometimes 4 days to see the physician that was in the nursing home
Hmm.
and said, "Look, I want to get out of here." And they're like, "No, Dee, it's not your time." And I had no recourse. I'm calling my PCP, blowing up their phone, like, "Get me the hell out of here." And there's like, there's nothing we could do.
Yep.
And if I'd leave on my own, that would be
It's
against
against
medical
medical advice and
advice.
it looks bad on you.
Well, not only that, it's against medical advice. My PCP could drop me. But the
And
big kick would be the insurance company would say, "We're not paying out the claim because you left. Here, have a
yep.
couple $100,000 worth of care and you pay it."
Yep.
So before you make decisions on, in a lot of cases, you're forced to go into a facility. But if you go in and sign yourself into a place, just be aware of what your state laws are. Uh, and I
Yep.
don't know, Crazy B, I would venture to say they're pretty much similar across the nation, just knowing that
And every
insurance
place,
companies,
well, and that's the thing is, all those rehab places are usually contracted to some kind of visiting doctor or on-site doctor that
yes,
they have,
right?
um,
Yeah,
because it's a slower
the
pace than a
doctor's not
hospital or
there.
an office
Right? He usually comes from, he's working a job at his own company or he works for
practice or whatever.
somebody. So he only
Yep.
shows up maybe once a week into the facility, right?
And sees everyone all at once.
Correct.
Yep. I've been one of those medical assistants who assisted the doctor in the visits at the residential homes where it was agreed upon that we could go in and see their patients.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we would have sometimes six or seven. There was one place we had 14 people in the same building. We just knocked everybody, we just not literally knocked them out, but we
Right.
went through and saw everyone
Right.
all in one day, once a week, because it was a hell of a drive to get there.
Right.
Hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I know how it works. And so when they called me, there's two problems. One, I don't fit the medical criteria according to Medicare's Medicaid standards to be a home health recipient,
Right. So you wonder
and
how they got you first, right?
because of my medical records
Right.
from my insurance provider.
Right.
And my insurance provider um basically said, I think this person would be a good candidate for home health care, and forwarded it to a home health care clinic according to this call. They didn't give my full records, but they gave my name and information and said that, based on her records, we think she would benefit. I don't. I disagree because I actually know the laws about Medicaid and Medicare and
But
keep
you
up
know
with them as
what?
best I can.
Just
Go
now
ahead.
that we're talking about a Crazy Bee, next week I would just call your provider and say,
Well, I'm in
just
need of a new primary care provider. Remember, my old one
right.
doesn't take my insurance anymore.
So it took them that long to catch up with you. Okay. I'm just
30 days,
curious
not
to
bad.
see, you don't think one of your other doctors could have given them the info?
No,
Okay.
no. But again, the insurance company has my full medical record from all of my doctors.
Right.
So they probably pieced it all together. And I'm just going to have probably my rheumatologist or my pain doctor be my primary care basically on paperwork, because all I am is sent to specialists. My primary care hadn't seen me in a year and a half because I went in because guess what? I needed to go see another specialist.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have 17 specialists. Back in the
Yeah.
day, your primary care doctor took care of everything.
Yep.
Now, nobody wants to do anything.
Well,
I've
back in the day, my asthma was so bad, the primary care couldn't control it anymore. So she
Right.
did send us to a specialist.
And that's
But I
when,
had two
right,
back in the day.
right. But I don't think that, there are some things that I believe that the primary care should be able to handle instead of saying, no, you have to go and see the specialist.
Yeah.
And again,
It's because, and Dee will be back, but most of this is because all of these practices are trying to get in on this bill Medicaid fraud stuff. And like I said, I know the ins and outs. I've seen it. And what's going on in
copay,
Minnesota
which is
has been
usually
going
higher
on
than the
for a few
primary copay,
decades. There you
and
are.
then that doctor wants to run reports and say,
Uh-oh.
oh, well, you know
Can you
what?
hear me?
That blood work that you had from your
She
primary
can't hear
care,
me.
that's maybe 6 weeks old.
This will
We
be
need to get
entertaining.
some new updates on you. So let's run some more.
You can't hear me. She can't hear me. Let me message her. Oh, Lord. Hold on. Oh. She'll be back. Okay, she noticed. Um, but like I said, all these states have been doing this for some time. And so it's just now coming to light what a lot of these things have been going on. There have been home health practices who have never once seen an actual patient. I pray you can hear me this time.
All right. And you too,
Can you hear
this
me?
is not medical advice. This is firsthand experience.
I don't know if she can hear me.
Crazy
Can you
B,
still hear
can you
me?
hear me?
I can hear you. You still can't hear me.
Nope. All righty, here we go again.
Let's try
MommaMak, the way things are looking, we're not repurchasing you in March.
I would love to see y'all's DMs during a show.
Pretty much sucks every day.
All right, give me a second, folks. I'll be back and I'll pick this up right where we left off. One moment.
Crazy B, if you can hear me, you go out and come back. And that's exactly what she's doing. Oh, it wouldn't be us if we were experiencing technical difficulties. Well, we made it to almost 8:50 without anything happening, so I guess we really can't complain.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, folks. Sorry about that. I guess I was speaking too much personal experience from work and stuff.
Likewise, yes, and Crazy B has actual medical, and I've worked in the HR medical field for many, many years in both manufacturing, hospital settings, and organizational settings. So
I actually went to college, had to learn about anatomy, physiology, pharmacology. I learned how to do blood draws. I learned how to do doctor's notes. I learned how to read drug studies, all that great stuff.
And
I'm
not only
not.
that, but I happen to be a huge patient of many, 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 many things wrong.
Yep, me too. I've
And
had a lot
so
of health problems over the years.
yeah, and
We
so I
know how
used,
this system
yeah,
works.
and I used to say, in all honesty, when I tell you that I'm fucked up from my toes to my nose, I now can report that we are fucked up from our toes to the top of our head and everything in between. So things have
Hmm.
escalated, unfortunately. So again, YouTube, 17 specialists. If you'd like to see the receipts, I can bring them.
If you want to see my work records of working as a medical assistant and my attendance to the college I went to get all my education, I will absolutely provide it, along with
Likewise,
references from doctors I've worked with,
likewise.
including the ones who taught me how to read drug studies and all that stuff. So buzz off about this.
Yes,
When
ma'am.
I say this absolute Medicaid fraud has been going on for a long time, I'm not joking. There are home health clinics that will team up with home physical therapy and
Yes,
other organizations just to load up on the they literally share patients across
yes.
them
Hmm.
because by golly, when it's an old person with dementia in the home or a disabled person, yeah, they're going to team up
Hmm.
and they will send in physical therapy 6 months
Hmm.
out of the year. Give them a 6 month break, sign them back up again. Oh, you want to sign them up for physical therapy? That requires in
Here we
home
go. Yep.
nursing too. And
Yes.
then this requires this and that and all this
Well,
paperwork from this
yeah,
doctor or that doctor.
and then consider throwing in things like, so my uncle lived out of state and he was a veteran.
Hmm.
Throw the VA into the mix.
Oh God, TRICARE
Yes.
is one of the worst health insurances we've ever come across. It'll pay for everything, but good luck getting to see a doctor. And most regular medical practices won't touch TRICARE
Yeah.
or the railroad. Railroad is another one that is often not taken.
Hmm.
So when you find a practice that actually takes it, bless that practice, even if they are a
Yes.
scam, because most
Well,
places won't take it.
so I'm going to be getting my 18th specialist. And guess when my appointment is?
Um, Next week.
August
What?
is the first available appointment. Yes, ma'am. But
Wow.
the good news is I'm on a waiting list in case there's a cancellation.
That's insane.
Hmm.
That's insane. This is why my dad didn't bother using any of his veterans benefits and stuff until there was absolutely nothing left and he was retired and he couldn't get Medicaid through the state. So he then claimed his veterans benefits and actually started using them.
Well, so you
And he goes to
remember,
the ear doctor once a year.
yeah, so you remember yesterday that I brought up the foreign doctor that was there that they wouldn't,
Hmm.
give doctor's license to and all that. And we were talking about the meds and how much I take, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm on the bare minimum of what's necessary. So I did say that they had me try medical marijuana. I spent over $2,000 out of pocket, met with the pharmacists of the medical marijuana manufacturing sites, blah, blah. Not a damn thing worked. It just, marijuana doesn't do jack shit for me. I've actually been places where people are floating across the grass and I'm just going, la, 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 la. So they asked me, is there anything that works? And I said, there's one thing, and that's alcohol. So why don't I just go off all of my meds, all of the specialists, and for the rest of my life just continue to drink alcohol? What do you
Well,
think?
because some of those meds, alcohol may help
Well,
with pain and sleep, but it's not going to help with the autoimmune and the neuropathy.
Yeah, so
Well, it
we
will
just
help
live
with the
on the wild
neuropathy.
side. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, when your heart randomly stops, that makes sense because you need the steroids.
well, I can take the steroids with the alcohol. I mean, we could intermix some
Oh
drugs, don't you
God,
think?
no. No, no, please don't. Depending on
Okay.
how you respond to alcohol, are you a nice drunk or a mean drunk?
Oh, I'm nice. I'm not mean.
Okay, then maybe it'll counter or
Yeah.
balance or
Yeah.
whatever when you're on the
Oh
higher
yeah. Oh,
steroids.
you're just worried that, oh shit. You're being selfish now. You're just worried as crazed as I get on the high doses of steroids. You think that alcohol will take it to the next level. Nah,
Uh,
it'll
Vanilla says
counterbalance it.
no
It
D.
might
Once
mellow
you
me
go
out
Irish,
some.
you can't go back. Art responded to him. It's a shortage of available docs. Lots of people quit with Obamacare,
Uh-huh.
and they've been dropping ever since.
Yeah. Yep.
Because Vanilla asked, "What are we, Canada?" Basically,
Yeah.
we're well on our way.
Oh yeah.
Blue Rose says, "Girl, you're already crazy. I don't need you drunk." LOL.
You don't know me drunk yet, Blue, so
Blue
you
and I
might
were
like
thinking
me
on the
drunk.
same page here. Wait, are you a nice drunk or a mean drunk? Which
Yeah.
one is it?
Yeah, we're
We're
nice.
thinking the
We're
same
fun.
thing.
We're way more fun. Let's just say
Okay.
we're way more fun.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only thing I worry about. And
Hmm.
even then, I'd still be a friend and listen to all the whatever
The ranting and
happens
ravings.
from it.
Shit, I might be able to get up on the Discord and just let it all hang loose, right?
Hey, I mean,
Be in the friend zone and everywhere else we go. Yep. Oh, Lord help us. Ugh.
half the people who jump into when we're watching UFC and talking about it, not half people. Actually, a good chunk of people aren't even watching on their end. They're just there to talk.
Right, right.
We've had it where there were like 10 people there. Two
Shit,
of
I'm
us
one of
are
them.
watching UFC and
Yeah,
talking about it, but the rest are having conversations about
yeah,
work or whatever.
yeah.
So, it happens.
Right,
It's just a meetup place. It's where
right,
people can meet and have fun talking about whatever is going on in their lives and just relax and
right,
let it out, vent to a bunch of people who aren't going to hold it against you.
right.
That's pretty much what it is. Art says, "You don't want to see me drunk. I'm very well trained and armed. Did I mention I'm an a-hole?" A whole A? Like a wrong hole.
Uh-oh.
Magnet. LOL. Sounds like my family. I was the only sane one, and for some reason, they all turned into assholes when they drank, and I'm like the only one sitting there, like, shut the hell up, all of you. You're all idiots.
All right, why don't we try to finish this part up?
Well, there's only 2 minutes. We could go a little late. No, they got to work tomorrow. Both of them do,
Yeah,
but we can go a
yeah.
little bit later, and then we'll go from there.
We'll do
Okay.
the inner thing tomorrow.
No, we'll do this as soon as I'm done. We'll be
No.
done. We'll be done shortly after this video.
I'm going to bed.
That's nice, but I'll have you helping me in a few minutes.
No.
All right, let's get through this, and then I'll deal with the argument over switching the router.
We'll finish this up and then pick up Monday.
Yeah.
Sure, we got done earlier.
By force
tell me
with
that.
the right to religious worship. And this is an administration who
hear
has
the
said
video,
they
Crazy
won't
B,
use the
but
FACE Act to
that could be
prosecute
because I
crimes of
was
the first
booted.
type, and they are going to start to use.
I have a feeling it was because you were booted.
Okay.
Is it worth fighting with at this moment?
No, it isn't. No, it's almost
Okay.
over. We made it this
And I
far.
put the subtitles on for a
I
reason.
got it. I know what it's about, so I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I
it's just one
said,
of those.
Evmux isn't. It's not looking good.
Yep. But we have alternatives if we need to.
Correct.
We've been kicking around.
To use the FACE Act to prosecute crimes of the second. When you look at the affidavit that was filed in that criminal complaint, originally against 8 people, only 3 of them were eventually charged. There is lots of recitation about what Don Lemon allegedly did during that church protest, talking about him both interviewing people outside and sort of talking with the organizers of that protest, sort of embedding with them as they prepared to go in, and then live streaming the protest. And as you noted, even the affidavit quotes him as saying, "I'm just here to chronicle and report on what's happening." He also underscores at one point, I'm going to read to you from the complaint. I'm looking at a young man who's in the corner. He's frightened. He's scared. He's crying. People are leaving church. An unknown male parishioner was observed yelling to the agitators, telling them to get out. And then he says, I don't think they know what to do. I'm sure they probably called the local authorities right now. If I'm guessing, the authorities, the federal authorities, are relying on some of Don Lemon's own language to suggest that.
Sorry about the subtitles. It said dumb women's own language. Dumb women's language. I'm sorry. Oh my God. I just realized I missed that in the subtitles because this was the last minute one. Or no, this was one of the earlier ones. But I missed that. It said dumb women's language.
Well, it is true.
Oh my God, it's so perfect.
Can
I
you
did
do
not
me
do
a
that on purpose, I swear.
Yeah, can you do me a favor and go to the Megyn Kelly one and go
Yeah.
towards the very end? There's that one shot of him that we didn't have where he was passing out things to people. Can you find that real quick?
Scrolling through.
It's towards the end. He's handing out things to the people in the parking lot.
Nope, it's not at the very end. Hold on, I'm going to do a quick scroll through the show and see if I can find it.
So basically what he's doing, this is a shot that we hadn't seen before. It's in more detail where he's handing out coffee.
Oh, I found it.
Okay. Just play that real quick. And I think we can end the segment on this.
Okay.
In solidarity.
Oh, we have that.
Yeah, I mean, there's...
Well, let me show that, Michael. Good point. We haven't shown that yet. Here it is.
You want some coffee?
Thank you.
Anybody want some coffee?
Oh, he brought coffee to the
Yes, he did.
We're out here. Good. You want some?
I'm good, thank you.
Wait.
But
he brought coffee to the protesters.
yes, he did.
That seems like he's pretty biased.
Yes. How did he know to bring coffee if he just remember in the beginning, didn't he say they just happened to roll up on them?
Yeah.
Is that what he said? Right?
Uh-huh. But somebody else caught him bringing coffee.
Correct. And he's talking
Interesting.
he's talking to these people, right? If I recall correctly, he's asking somebody, "Don't you want it to have something to wash it down with?" Right? So I don't know. Maybe they had dry
Food
donuts
and
or
drink.
something. How did he know to bring coffee?
If he just found them randomly.
Right. So I hope that this is shown in court.
Wow. I'm sure they scoured the internet for any footage of him leading up to the protest.
I hope so.
Wow. He brought them at least coffee, minimally.
And there's discussion, and we can look at it Monday, but there's discussion in the comments that, as a journalist, you typically don't interact. You're there to report on the scene. You don't embed yourself into one side or the other by doing things like bringing coffee.
Yeah.
Did he bring coffee to the parishioners? Did he bring Kool-Aid or a juice box to the little kids that were scared?
No, he did not.
All right. Well, we'll end it on that. It's after 9 o'clock, everybody. Thank you for joining Rex Sisters. Please don't forget to like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe.
I'm
Stay,
trying
please.
To get a couple things
everybody
fixed really
stay
fast.
warm this weekend. It's going to be another cold one. We will be back on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, don't forget to join the Discord if you haven't done so already. And with that, I'm out.
I'm going to do my usual of telling everyone to stay safe, stay sane, stay sober, stay warm, and go ahead and just take it easy. And hopefully all will be well, and we'll catch y'all on the next one, which should be Monday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then Monday it is, and I will go ahead and get the descriptions updated, and hopefully all will go well. This has been a wild week with all kinds of stuff going on, and so many things that are being used as distractions, and we just need to see through the distractions to get to the core problem,
Yes,
and we'll just
ma'am.
kind of wing it from there. So all right, folks, I will see you later, and have a good one.
Good night.